my name is Rafael. If you're gonna talk to each other, you can say Rafael, Rafael, Rafael. Doesn't matter that much. Just remember the name. You don't call me, I don't know, Bob or Michael, and it's fine. For those who know me, you know that I am born and raised. I was born and raised in São Paulo, but right now I'm living in La Paz, Bolivia. Okay, it's a kind of exotic city, 4,000 meters above the sea level. It's really nice to be here. Really, a lot of nature and I don't know, just like to be here. My background, my academic background, I have two bachelors. The first one is in web development. And by web development, I was trying to design beautiful websites for clients and groups and artists. But I got a bit frustrated with the lots of coding that it was required. And for the second one, instead of following, like PhDs and specializations, actually I followed a different path. I did linguistics, okay? Linguistics, translation and interpretation from English to Portuguese. Yes, some people thought it was a bit weird, but here I am talking to you from all around the world, from La Paz, Bolivia, being from São Paulo. About my professional background. Of course, I was like an English, Spanish, Portuguese teacher, and all those things. But they, I'm not sure about where you all live, but they don't pay that well. Also, unless you really work hard and a lot. So I changed. So I went again to digital marketing, where I can say that I worked around 7 years on something called marketing of performance. And I had markets of performance is just a fancy name for companies that help other companies to sell more, okay, or to have more downloads, more clicks, more views, just to improve anything that a company wants. It was nice because, I mean, we are talking about international companies, so I had the opportunity to go to, I don't know, Google's headquarters, in São Paulo, and all those big names, Facebook to Samsung, Mercado Libre, or Mercado Livre for those from Brazil. But I was getting, let's say, bored, okay, because I was doing the same thing over and over. And even though I was getting kind of well paid and I was well known in the market, uh, I switched my career from the technical account manager. You can Google the technical account manager is the guy who takes care of the technical things, from any digital account. So I switched from this to UX, okay, user experience. It wasn't that easy, but I think I don't think, I'm sure it was the right decision. Now I can do things that I want because UX is totally related to and connected to creativity. And my focus is design lab. So I can help or guide or uh, I don't know, be with mentees on design lab and change their lives to do something that they like to do. Okay. So yes, 2 or 3 minutes introduction. Okay. If you have questions about this, about my career, about my journey, please ask. Okay, feel free to ask. I'll try to save some minutes at the end of this just to discuss with you. Okay. If you want to turn on your cameras, you can do it. I can see your profiles here on my right side. So just keep muted, okay, the microphone, but please, you can turn on the cameras for sure. So let's start here. Uh, my idea for this hour of artificial intelligence was because the majority of my students or mentees, as you want to call them, and also friends and family, and they were really asking a lot about artificial intelligence, not only the technicalities of artificial intelligence, not only about the future, our future regarding artificial intelligence, but also the jobs right? The job market, what's gonna happen, what's happening, are this thing gonna take our jobs or not? So I think it was something from maybe 80%, okay, of my students and my classes here, and even, emails, newsletters, and all those things. So I decided to just prepare kind of a short presentation to talk about this. Okay. So the idea, yes, building bridges, not barriers, with UX, UI design. Some instructions from Design Lab, of course, stay on mute, okay? But you can turn on your cameras, okay, if you want and if you can. At the end, we'll try to have some question and answers, because the idea is just not to talk about, it's just to discuss too. It's also to discuss a little bit. So a couple of statistics, okay, market size, and also the idea is not to have a presentation and just read the presentations, just to guide a little bit through, okay? So this expectation is for the artificial intelligence market to reach $63 billion, okay? We are talking about the market in general. So we are talking about every single industry, not specifically about digital design or about UX, UI. Um, for the designers, actually, in 2022, of course, 2023 and 2024, we're talking about the boom, right, of AI, but already in 2024, the majority of the designers and actually any digital workers, they were already using artificial intelligence. So it's not something completely new, okay? And if it was already in 2022, we're talking about a couple of months and years before it was already being used. Um, the impacts and benefits. For us, we're talking about using for productivity boost. I'm gonna talk about this in a couple of minutes. So we're talking about using AI as a tool, okay? Not something to replace us in the market. Uh, Things that we can do. Accessibility. So we also have this kind of tools right now, and we are using right now artificial intelligence to check accessibility in websites and apps and any digital platform. Of course, personalization, because you can personalize everything, any single platform, every single text, every single um, project at all. Okay, so we should have something here like thoughts about AI. What I've been researching is the the role of AI. So yes, it's something new. Yes, it's something that's gonna be here to stay. So my recommendation for every single one of us who are searching for a job, or are already working, okay, with digital design or anything related to UX, UI, my recommendation is to learn, to embrace, okay? I remember probably 2010, more or less, even a bit before. We had the boom of those platforms like Wix, like Squarespace, like even WordPress Elementor. And it was really worry for professionals that their jobs or their roles will be replaced by this kind of technology. So what happens actually that the web designers and web developers, they started using Wix and Squarespace and all those drag and drop tools as a tool. Okay, but you can see even right now that the jobs, they were not replaced, but the designers and professionals, they had to learn anyway. So right now for artificial intelligence is what I'm seeing. Not exactly only what I'm seeing, but what I'm seeing in a daily basis in my studies, in my projects, and with my students, and also job opportunities. They are kind of requiring right now that you have at least an idea about artificial intelligence. So the recommendation right now is to actually embrace. Okay, they're not gonna replace UX designers or UI designers. Some professionals, professions, sorry, uh, it's kind of a, let's say, worry scenario, but in the sense of you also gonna need to adapt. Why is that? Because, for instance, coders, okay, people who use it to just code at home and code interface apps and softwares in general, uh, they're not gonna be replaced, but since AI can generate codes and simple softwares, they would have to adapt. There's no other way. Okay, right now you can ask AI to create a, I don't know, um, not a PHP because this is a web, but yes, maybe a PHP and JavaScript code just to insert in your website. You don't need to hire a coder to do that. Okay, so some of those professionals, they're gonna have to adapt and integrate really AI. For us who are working and teaching, of course, and studying UX and UI, also you're gonna have to adapt a little bit. Even Design Lab in their current curriculum, they are adding, okay, they are adding artificial intelligence as a tool for you to learn here and there. Okay, let's go here. So yes, again, productivity, so you can use as a tool. Even that the source here is Adobe, they are also integrating, okay? They started with Firefly. So Adobe Firefly was one of the first to integrate artificial intelligence and image creation. Accessibility, we discussed it, so we can scan and make sure that everything is accessible. Personalization, because they're gonna be able to do any kind of personalization without maybe hiring a third-party person. Things that are kind of automated right now, but they're not perfect. We are going to discuss this in a couple of minutes too. Content creation. Of course, now you can go to Bard or you can go to ChatGPT and ask them to create like content for a post. Okay, so this can be useful in certain instances, let's say in circumstances, but again, they're not perfect, but they are there. They're gonna be improved. Prototyping and iteration. Yes, we are having this in our career, even if you are studying, if you are teaching. Some tools that are ready to prototype any kind of platform, any kind of idea that you have in an automatized way. So yes, it's a tool, so it's gonna help us in a way. But again, I'm gonna show this in a couple of minutes because we're gonna practice this. It is not perfect, okay, but it's there. Accessibility again, design feedback and recommendations. Why is that? Because, oh, I'm just gonna ask you everybody to keep muted, okay? But again, you are all welcome to turn on your cameras. I'm not seeing anybody here with the camera on, but let's move forward, okay? Why the feedback and recommendations? Because now we are gonna have platforms that can access databases and ask to feedback for a project of ours, okay? So in certain circumstances, maybe you don't have to wait that much for instant feedback, okay? The user research and the interviews and the general feedback, it's gonna keep the same. You're gonna have to reach out people, but for some of the things that we need really fast, we can ask some platforms to do this for us, okay? Here, when you talk about content creation, I mentioned Jasper. I'm not sure if you know this platform. And for prototyping, I mentioned Wizards. And for accessibility checks, I have two platforms to do. And design feedback and recommendations, I tried Luca, okay? And I can show you here in a couple of minutes why I don't think it's perfect, but it's already a tool for us to use. Uh, Wizard, for example, let's try Luca. Okay. The idea for this platform is to create branding, okay, branding creation. So you're gonna have a logo, typography, colors, uh, everything that is required to create a brand. Uh, what are the pros and cons here? The pros, of course, something really fast. Okay, we're talking about maybe 2 or 3 minutes just to insert some data. And of course,
Vamos
the
ver máquinas.
generation of the generation of the result generation is gonna take even less. Okay, so let's try something. I'm gonna ask you to participate. So does anybody here have a company name, not in the sense a real company, but something we can try? You can type here in the chat if you have an idea. I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds. If you have an idea here for a company name, just, okay, Sip Saver, interesting. Let's see, even if whoops, different screen. Sap Saver. Eva, hi there, Eva. Portfolio. Someone said, let's say portfolio for the next one. Okay, so let's start with the SAP Saver, and I'm gonna use the portfolio one. So here it is. Also, I'm gonna discuss about tools that are paid and tools that are free. Okay, this is something really important when we are talking about artificial intelligence. So SAP Saver, let's see what happens. I'm giving a name here. Pick your industry. I'm gonna say food, something like that, just really real quickly. And here they say, hey, pick some logos you like. So I'm gonna be kind of random here because we're just trying the results. So something really clean, something with a logo, and something with maybe a shape. Okay, 3 colors that I like. This can this can be really subjective, right? But let's try maybe grayscale so it can be as simple as possible. Add a slogan, whatever, add a slogan here. Oh, okay, too long. Continue. Bakery shop, cookies, and let's say innovation. We are generating some logos for you. 2, 3, 4. Oh, 4 now. Okay. Even here, it's still generating. I'm not sure about you, but I have my own thoughts about the results. Okay. And Luca is one of the, let's say, one of the most well-known tools out there for this. Okay. This one. Let's select this one. And let's go to the pros and cons. Tell me, all of you who are listening to me, what do you think about at least the previous results? Did you like? I don't know, didn't like at all? It was okay. It was more or less, it was acceptable. What do you guys think? Guys and girls, everyone. So I have most of them did not seem to connect, or my assumptions. Okay, perfect. Acceptable, but not great. Some were really generic. And Eva, some were generic, but overall, I can see how it would be good for a business starting out. Okay, they are fine starting points, Kyle. Good to get your ideas to start with. Hey, Laura, Claudia, I feel they do not have that much personality. Okay, perfect. I have to agree. I think it's a good starting point. Okay. I think it's also something to have maybe an idea about a different font, maybe a different shape. Okay. And also if you have a business, but you don't have like a budget. Okay. I think it's also interesting. Like I have, I don't know, $50. Let's do something. For this kind of situation is okay. What happens with platforms like Luca, you really have to pay. So I'm seeing the results here, but if I click on download, they're gonna ask you for me to pay for every single thing. Okay, t-shirts for the websites, for Facebook covers, for everything. They're gonna ask you to pay. I got some results, some interesting results here. Um, but maybe it took, let's say, a while. This one was the only one that I like it. And I'm trying to create a brand for a friend of mine. And I never saw this font here before. And I like the idea of being minimalist. And that's pretty much it. Besides that, we need some personalization. That's my opinion. Okay. So if you go back here, Jasper, it's kind of another tool in the same way, some, let's say, promises. But I didn't get at least, let's say, really good and outstanding results. Okay. This is more related to create text. So if you deal with maybe social media, if you're a community manager, or if you have many social media accounts to take care of, maybe this can be interesting. In what sense? Hey, please plan, I don't know, 5 posts, okay, for this week with these topics, and you separate the topics. So for this kind of thing is interesting. But I also got some, let's say, mixed results, and I don't know, maybe can be useful. Not for us, for as UX designer, because we don't deal with that much of content creation. But let's say that we can save this tool for future reference. Um, the other one that is interesting, it's Wizard. Okay, so it's wizard.io. Let's go there. Also, a part of this presentation and this discussion is to use is to show actually simple to use tools, because we are seeing AI tools everywhere, but not that many are easy to use. Some of them requires you to connect with Discord, some complicated prompts, and this is not the idea. The idea of AI, at least for us, is to use as a tool, and you don't have actually to spend so much time in learning. Okay, it should be a tool just like any other Figma or even Canva or Photoshop, kind of fast learners. Okay, so let me log in. Okay, so you have new projects, you have auto designer, you can get a template, you can work with a team. So let's try the auto designer. This is what is interesting here. You can have some ideas, input some ideas, and the platform is going to generate for us. So let's try the generate with auto designer. Okay, let's use maybe web, so you can have a big screen. And my prompt is saved. Okay, I tried this, I think, yesterday or a couple of days before. An app to connect musicians around the world based on what type of music they play, what instruments they play, location, style, and needs in general. So let's add something just to be different from yesterday. Um, I want the design to be heavily inspired on in Pinterest. Um, minimalist. Sorry, I'm typing here and the screen is there. So minimalist and uh, using maybe dark mode. And let's add something here, dark, and instead of young, let's change it to techie. Okay, generate my project. It's saying that I have to pay. So that's the thing. Okay, the majority of these tools you can start for free and then you have to pay. So let's go back to my results. Okay, the 80% is this. I just changed a couple of things. So if I go back here to my projects, this is the Music Connects one. You see, 22 hours ago. Let's see the results. Okay. So it created some screens. Yes, it's a bit heavy. So for the onboarding or the intro screens that we always see and use, they're asking to upgrade. Okay, so if it's a tool that you're going to use a lot, it is recommended to pay. But in general, they're going to create a couple of screens. Okay, like this is the chat, right? Recording a voice message. This is the list of musicians, and this is the list of a feed for the musicians we're looking for. This is the profile picture. So maybe for this one, what do you all think about it? I have my opinion, but I'm curious to at least read uh, what you think. Good, bad, could be better, useful. It's a good draft. You could sell maybe this project. What do you think? Nobody. Where is Claudia? Where is Laura? Oh, Ryan. Impressive. Start considering it's AI, but definitely needs work and refinement. Okay, Eva, I think it had some good points, and I would use it as a reference for information architecture. Perfect. Artemis, I think it gives ideas for layouts and the sizing of the elements. Tammy, I like some of the page, some things need fine-tuning. Okay. Sorry, Lizo or Lizo Joseph. Looks nice, but doesn't understand actual user needs. Perfect. Regine, I think it looks pretty good. I would think that a professional did this. Okay. I agree with the majority here. It is, let's say, okay. Okay. In the sense of you are giving idea, you are getting a result in a couple of seconds. Okay. In that sense, is okay. But yes, it's not like custom. It's not like something fine-tuning. But how do I think I can use this? Maybe you have idea, maybe you have a client and they have a crazy idea. And instead of sketching, which I really love to sketch, or instead of creating low fidelity wireframes and ask for a couple of days, you can go to a platform like this, ask to create a couple of screens, and ask your clients or even your boss or stakeholder things that they like it and things that they didn't like, right? So then you can get from here and person customize. This I think it's a good option, okay? Because we as human we cannot be faster than this, right? But to have a sketch, to have like a draft, I think it's a good tool. Also, if you want to use this tool, this is Wizard. Okay, this is wizard.io. My autocorrect is correcting. Okay, user.io. Um, you can use this actually to customize. Okay, so if you go here, for instance, you can change the text, you can change everything. You can change the positions, you can change this. You can probably change the content somewhere, right? I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh, okay. Double click and my name. You can change fonts. You can change everything. Okay. As far as I know, at least right now, it's not compatible with Figma, and I think the idea is not to be compatible. Um, but you can export. But also, again, another thing, if you want to export, you're gonna have to pay. So welcome to handoff mode. Select any screen or component to export visuals. Okay, let's say this one. Okay, you have the screens. have exports. You can export to PNG, JPEG, and if you want a CSS, you have to pay. I think it's fair enough. They need to get money from somewhere, right? So again, it depends. You need to really understand your needs if you're working, if you're looking for a job. If you're looking for a job, I would recommend to learn. It's gonna take you like a couple of minutes or hours, just that, okay? Just to say, hey, I know how to use. And if you think it's gonna be useful for your work, of course, you can pay for the paid version. I'm not profiting anything, I'm not paying, okay, for the paid version. But it can be useful. I definitely see that it can be useful for if you're just in a meeting, you know, in a coffee shop, whatever, you need something 2 minutes, you can use this and take some notes. Next tool, Jasper. Oh, no, no, you're not gonna take a look at this. So yes, Wizard, Luca. Designs.ai is really similar to um, Luca. Okay, so you're not gonna recheck this. It's a platform, you can type your idea, and the platform is gonna generate everything automatically. The results are kind of the same. It's like icons and typography and colors. So, and also it is a paid platform. So it's worth checking it out. Look, checking it out, like Luca and Designs.ai. Um, Again, the challenge here. The results are far from good in the sense of being like professional results, something that you can say, hey, this is gonna take my job. Okay, I'm gonna be on out of job, unemployed in the next couple of weeks. I don't see this happening right now. But again, for a draft, for an idea, for something really fast that you need in a couple of minutes, I think it's interesting even to get a feedback, right? To have the result that is not that good, and you can hear from your client, hey, I didn't like the color, I didn't like the icon, I want something like this. So then you can get some good feedback. The pros, of course, you don't have to code, right? You don't need to learn, I don't know, PHP, JavaScript, or Java, or what else? Python, right? Or anything like that. You can just use. So this is wonderful at this day and age. For me, it's wonderful. So let's go to my favorite ones. Okay, since we have kind of an hour, I'm gonna try to be kind of fast here so we can save some minutes for us to discuss. Okay. I was using Bard is I don't use ChatGPT, but it's kind of, let's say, personal. Okay, you can use if you want. My favorite one is Bard. But today, when I was about to connect and ask, I didn't even remember what I asked it. But when I asked Bard, I noticed that they changed names. Okay, so if you go here, bard .google.com, now it's Gemini or Gemini. Okay, and I even asked Bard. It's in Portuguese, but don't worry. Okay, I'm gonna type in English. I asked, hey, can I call you Bard? And they say, hey, I'm changing names. Don't call me Bard. I said, okay. So hi there, Gemini. So why and where and when do I use Bard? Actually, for almost everything. Right now, it's giving me, at least me, better results than Google in general. Okay, especially for what? Statistics. Any statistic that I need. I ask it about UX, I ask it about UI, I ask it about the jobs, right? The job market and digital in general, the salary, everything. And they answered me with pure statistics, not sponsored links. Okay, so that's for me, it's a big advantage from Google, right? You don't have sponsored links, at least for now, so you can get pure results. At least for me, this is really interesting. So for instance, here yesterday I asked it, um, can you can you tell me at least 5 wonderful UX tools that are powered by UI? Okay, so of course, maybe in the future they're gonna sponsor some of these results, but the it's cleaner, let's say, especially regarding ads and especially regarding content that we are not gonna use at all. So yes, Figma, InVision, Maze, user testing, Hotjar. Okay. So the focus here for this answer is actually the tools to X designers, okay, to design a mockup or an interface. So to ask like top tools, to ask about um, anything actually. I remember some of my students, they were worried about job positions and about the market in general. So I also asked Bard, in this case, Gemini. I asked it, uh, what, let's say, how many jobs do we have available in New York for UX designers or digital designers in general that are just starting their careers? Anything. So you don't have like a sponsored results or anything like that. So it's a really good tool for you to use. Another thing that I recommend for you to try with this kind of platform is actually curriculums, texts, um, grammar in general. You can ask to review maybe your cover letter. You can ask to rewrite your cover letter. You can get sorry, um, a short text, copy and paste, and ask to rewrite. For instance, this is really useful. Okay. Again, they're gonna tell you platforms for you to check. You can also you can also go deeper. Thanks. So what kind of skill is being really uh, requested by companies right now? And as a next step, maybe you can just copy and paste your resume with your skills and ask what kind of skills you should learn, okay, to apply for a new position. So, okay, you are front end. So now you can see, hey, they are really asking for a front end. Should I learn? Okay, or not? User research, accessibility, something that if you was right my if you were sorry my students, you know that I'm always talking about accessibility. So here it is. Okay, design thinking, soft skills, of course, communication, presentation, time management. So besides being a really uh, technical oriented person, you should have other things to help you in this journey. Okay. Oh, I have some questions here. Like, Amanda, are you concerned about the accuracy of the results? On the Google page, it has a disclaimer that AI is experimental and the results are not guaranteed. Yes. Right now, I think they're gonna use this forever, of course, because the results cannot be taken like 100% perfect and accurate result. Also because it's artificial intelligence, so they are still learning those things. But right now, for this kind of things, I don't have many questions. Okay, my future questions are gonna be: Are they gonna add sponsored content? Yes or no? Okay, like best tools for to do this, to do that. Are they gonna show like a sponsored tool? Yes or no? We don't know. Probably they're gonna merge, okay, the Google search and the AI results. They're gonna have a blend. We are already having this. If you go to Google.com, you can enable like a header with AI results, okay, on top. And let's see. But again, I would suggest you if you need extra text, if you need a brainstorming here, for instance, um, let me interact with you again. So give me an idea anyone about any kind of business. It can be food, it can be music, it can be health, it can be anything. Okay, okay, motorcycle sellers. Okay, um, Gemini. I'm always saying Bard. Gemini. I have an idea about a new business um, focused on uh, motorcycle sellers, but I still don't have a name. Can you please suggest me? Let's go big here, 20, to see how fast it is, okay? Can you please suggest me 20 names, um, but focus on the young generation? Six, seven, 7 seconds, right? So here, that's why I like uh the Google one, because they suggest me by kind of tone of voice. Okay, so catch and playful, hey, Gearhead Garage, throttle heads, nomad model, etc. Modern and tech savvy. Motoverse, gear pose, side ride, shift beats, okay? And they even ask if you give me more information, I can give you more results so you can use. So for this kind of thing, I think it's really useful. Okay, maybe you have an idea, but you're not that happy, or you are kind of unable to find a specific word. I will go here and ask for suggestions. Getting back here, yes, Bing. Okay, I know I don't use Bing for search anything, but there's kind of a hidden tool on Bing that I'm using here and there. So let's go to bing.com. Let's switch to English. Okay. Now, if you are listening to me, if you're in your computer, you can go here on images and you go here on create. Okay. Click on create. It's gonna open a new tab, and you're gonna see it looks like a different page, but it's artificial intelligence powered by DALI. And instead of having complicated prompts and complicated commands and complicated whatever, this is really just giving instruction, and I'm gonna create something for you. I tried for landscape. I tried to create actually humans, in the sense, hey, create someone like this so I can use as an Instagram profile. It worked well. But here again, I'm gonna ask suggestions. What do you want me to create? Like landscapes, a book cover, any topics, any moods? Let's try maybe something different. What do you say? A book cover on alien romance. Okay, interesting. Yes, it's an interesting topic, right? A Ferrari in the style of steampunk. Let's try this one. Okay. Um, Great. Um, let's see a realistic. Oops. Usually they are kind of typo proof. Okay, a realistic illustration of let's say a red Ferrari. Um, this steampunk in the steampunk style. With at night, let's put some details. At night, with a busy busy city. Let's say busy city background. Advantages of this, the Bing one. You have I think it's 15 credits per day, so you can create 15 versions of your design, your idea. It's gonna give you 4 for each try, and you can have more coins, let's say more credits. Okay. Not that bad. I'm pretty sure if we give more instructions, we're gonna have more detailed results. Okay. But not that bad if you're gonna use in a project as a background. And the other one was a book cover on alien romance. Let's try this one. Create cover artwork for a book based on a alien romance. And here we give some details. I think it's always better if we give some details. So alien romance. The aliens should be gray and tall. They are living in the countryside. They also have black and big rounded eyes. The scenario is at night, and the illustration is in the style of Rembrandt, realistic. Not that slow, but they take a couple of seconds. I think it's fair enough. Okay, so as more details you give to any platform, the results are gonna be better. So, okay, kind of generic, but if you give more details, you're gonna have better results. So for something that took maybe 10 seconds, I think it's great. And it's also something that you can use to give to an artist, maybe as a reference. Okay, so Bing, this is from Bing. Ah, okay, we are back. I think I lost the connection for a couple of seconds. Let's go back, share my screen. Okay. Again, just a second, share this one. Okay. So some tools we are almost finishing. Okay, I'm gonna have some questions between us. Canva, now Canva, if you go to Canva and we start a presentation, the classic one, start a presentation, you go to your text or even. Okay, let me check the chat because, okay, are we back? It was me or maybe the Zoom account. Let's try again. Sorry about that. Okay. So something I would recommend you would be to go to Canva. Okay. Thanks for your patience. Uh, Canva, of course, at least let's say back in the day, a couple of years ago, um, was something just to create like business cards, presentations and whatever. But now I think it's a really powerful tool. It's not a design tool in the sense of UX designers or whatever, but for some specific things, I think it is a really powerful tool. I use actually to create, of course, presentations, but also when I need to record a movie, okay? So I can save a presentation, actually creates a presentation and save as a movie with animations without going to Adobe Premiere or CapCut. So it's really interesting. In this case here for AI, I use it in a couple of scenarios. Last week, I used it to create a business proposal. Uh, but they have a tool right now. Remember to go there, and once you create a text, it can be a resume, it can be a cover letter. I created a text, right-click it on it, and ask it to translate. Okay, so the entire presentation was translated in about 5 seconds, maybe. from Portuguese to Spanish, and then I tried again to English. Okay, so for this kind of tool, I recommend situation. Actually, I recommend to use Canva as a tool. Try it. Maybe even for your cover letters, maybe for your emails, maybe for your resumes. It has a magic tool, just like any new grammar checker, that it can regenerate your text. Like, hey, I want a more creative one. I want a more formal one. I want an informal one. Okay, or just regenerate with other words, or creates a longer text. So you can do this on Figma, which is interesting. This one is the Quillbot. You're probably gonna get maybe impacted by ads from this tool. I use as a grammar checker because, of course, I'm not a native speaker. So some grammar, some prepositions, it's really hard to get like 100%. So if it's an email, if it's maybe a review from a design lab, I ask this tool to review. It's free. At least grammar checker and the text review is for free. Some of the extra tools you have to pay. Colors, it's one of my favorites, and they are using AI right now. So you can instant generate color palettes here and there. You can check for contrast. You can share your color palettes, and they are implementing AI too. Now, this is interesting, okay? I'm gonna just go really real quickly, just for the sake of time, okay? But I would suggest you to try these plugins. They're all plugins. I tried many, okay, and many they were not good. So the majority here are like tested, okay, at least from yesterday. I tested and I said, okay, we can use this one. Mulshow, okay, Mulshow and Builder, they create interfaces just like the other one that I showed you. You create a prompt, you give a command, and the software is gonna create some interfaces for you. In the case of Builder, I think it was even more interesting. I think this one we can try in real time. But anyway, you can open Figma, you can get any project that you have, if it's a hero section, if it's a mockup, if it's a landing page, and this builder.io creates the HTML and the CSS automatically. Okay, so just right click the plugin, ask the plugin to run. Maybe you have to sign in or sign up, and it's gonna create automatically the CSS and the HTML code. I didn't check for really advanced, let's say, styles or projects. I just tried it with a hero section and it worked. And even allowed me to customize the CSS and the HTML. Okay, so it's worth trying. Magic Copy is to generate texts. So if you need texts for a project of yours to create a landing page, you need like about section instantly, just use Magic Copy. Is gonna recreate this with a couple of instructions. And yes, Night Cafe, I think it's Night Coffee creator or Night Cafe creator. I don't know. Similar to the Bing image creator. Okay, I just added here because it wasn't that common. But if you wanna try, you can try. My favorite one is still the Bing one. Okay, so let me stop sharing. So thank you so much. We are running out of time. Sorry about the internet connection problems, but I'm saving a couple of minutes here for question and answers. If you wanna ask something, know something, share your thoughts, your ideas. If you don't have my Instagram, go there, instagram.com, it is here. If you don't have my LinkedIn, go there, add me, keep in touch, okay? I'm gonna stop sharing, and if you wanna turn on your microphones, turn on your camera, please, or if you just wanna ask your questions via chat, feel free, okay? I want to thank you all, okay, for your time to come in here. Oh, Eva, hold on. I'm interested to see how it's used more in the UX UI sphere. I know that there are AIs now that write code for page and wireframes, and you can put into Figma. Yes. Right now, what is actually being, let's say, we are putting time and effort on it is actually the reverse from Figma to websites. Okay. So now, for instance, this one here, the builder, okay, you can go from Figma to HTML and CSS code instantly. So if you design an entire landing page on Figma and run this tool here, builder, you can have the CSS and the HTML code instantly, like seconds, okay? So you're gonna see more and more tools like that because Figma is now the main tool and the most used one in the market. And the clients and the industry, they really want to have, they want to see actually this, from Figma to web without hiring people, without coding problems, without uh, spending so much time. Okay, so we're gonna see more and more tools like builder.io. Right now, the tools that are being used are Framer. Okay, Framer is being really used to use from Figma to web. But I'm also seeing tools from Figma to Elementor. Okay, so you can take a look at the Figma community. Try to find, it's really Figma to Elementor, and you're gonna see the first result. It's gonna kind of download your Figma project, and you go to your WordPress and import this project. So you can add it on Elementor. So this is something that's saving like hours and days of work, right? I know that if we had this a couple of months ago, we could maybe have saved some time, right, for the portfolio. But things are evolving really fast. I totally recommend taking a look. Figma to Framer, Figma to WordPress, Figma to Webflow, and vice versa. I'm pretty sure that sooner than later, you're gonna have like a database connection, so you can just import and export. Of course, we are talking about static content for now. We're not talking about e-commerces or anything that is related to dynamic content. So, but we're gonna get there. Things are evolving really fast. And yes, these kind of tools here that I showed, I think they are complementary to UX and UI. Okay, so you can generate images, you can generate copy, right? Text content. You can generate wireframes, low, high, and mid fidelity. You can generate task flows. And another one you can try, like right now for free, is actually going to FigJam. Okay, you go to FigJam, and you have a line of commands. Please create a task flow with 10 steps. The focus is, I don't know, an e-commerce that sells t-shirts, and FigJam is gonna create for you, and you can just customize, okay, after the creation. So these are the main tools we are using, and I totally recommend take a couple of days, dive into that, and try to integrate in your hour and your task flow. Okay, Lydia, is Framer preferred over Squarespace? They are different, Lydia, in the sense of Framer, you can customize more. Okay, let's say that you have more freedom to design your own project, your own idea with your shapes, your colors, and your branding, let's say. And the Squarespace, you have more limitations, like the sections, the number of fonts, the number of colors, the number of sections and page. You have many limitations. The pros, they are really fast. Okay, again, you don't need to code a single line, so in that sense, it's really fast. It's just drag and drop. So if you have a simple idea, you can get the idea live in a couple of days. If the idea here is to design a portfolio, for instance, if your portfolio is like really minimalist, really simple and clean, it's totally okay to use Squarespace. Why not? The math here is like, hey, how much time available do I have? How much technical knowledge do I have? And what kind of website do I need? Okay. So if you need, for instance, really custom results, then we need to go maybe to Webflow, maybe to WordPress and Elementor. Um, yes, maybe Framer is also a really customizable tool, let's say, okay? Squarespace is gonna be like Wix, really fast to learn, really fast to use, but with limitations. Webflow, WordPress, Elementor, maybe Framer, Frame, sorry, Framer, Webflow, and WordPress and Elementor. You can customize every single pixel, but it's gonna be like a couple of days for you to learn and a couple of weeks for you to master. But again, the advantage is the pros for all of them, you don't need to code, okay? Uh, WordPress and Elementor is for free. You just pay the hosting. Webflow is paid. So more or less. Eva, I like WordPress and Elementor for the customizing abilities. Highly recommended. Is that what you're looking for? Yes. I still use Elementor because first I'm use it too. And the second, because I can really customize everything. If I need to change colors, font, size, mobile version, tablet version, movies, everything, I can use Elementor. Elementor, if you don't know, is a plugin. You can go to elementor.com. It's a free plugin for WordPress. So since WordPress is free and Elementor, at least the free version, they have a paid version, but I don't use. So you just need to pay the hosting, and you can hire any hosting and domain service and use WordPress and Elementor. Another question here, Tammy, sorry. Are there any UI tools that can learn from my modifications of UI designs as well? Oh, sorry. There are any AI tools that can learn from my modifications of UI designs as well? Mm, it's a good question. As far as I know, not yet. Okay, not yet. But since we have tools like wave.com, okay, that scan your website to check accessibility. And the other one is called hold on, just a sec. Accessibility. This is another tool that scans the website to check flaws and to check anything to adjust. Since we are already at this stage here, I'm pretty sure that we are gonna have this kind of tools. They're gonna see your designs and they're gonna see your modifications and they're gonna suggest next steps. I'm telling you this because we can see this already in Canva, okay? Canva, if you ask, hey, please change the color of this title here, they're gonna suggest, hey, do you wanna change them all? Okay, if you go on Canva and you choose an element, a shape, they're gonna give you like magic suggestions, shapes like that accordingly to your template, so to speak. So yes, I can see this thing happening, like a learning tool from your UI designs. But actually, right now, maybe it's easier to see this happening inside Figma, right? Some plugins that you ask to analyze the modifications you did and maybe give you suggestions, maybe analyze for accessibility, contrast, letter spacing, all these kind of things. So not for now, okay, Tammy, but I think this is gonna happen eventually. I'm pretty sure. Okay. People are the coders, the developers community on Figma, they are really creating things. So I would keep my eyes open for that. What do you mean by modifications? Uh, by understanding all the behaviors. Okay, so if you have a couple of screens and maybe you are going from, let's say, Sharpie pointed shapes to rounded shapes, uh, the machine learning is going to understand that you're going to do this for every single maybe screen on your project, and you're going to suggest, hey, do you want to change for like every single screen? Or are you sure that you're going to use like purple instead of blue because the contrast is low? So these kind of modifications and suggestions accordingly to your project. I definitely see this happening. Absolutely. I think it's gonna be useful. Okay, I think it's gonna be useful in the sense of saving time. Um, Figma is already like reading, right, our behavior using their software. So I definitely see this happening. Okay, so it's like a consistent algorithm suggestion. Yes, yes, I think this is gonna happen, but not for every single project, not for every single screen, not for whatever. I think it's just going to be like a tool that's going to be added. Okay, like a feature, actually. Okay, really similar to Canva, but more advanced and focused on mockups and UX UI design. Okay. Uh, Absolutely. I lost the connection again for 5 seconds. So, okay. I mean, I'm still here. Do we have any more questions? Anything anybody wants to share? We still have a couple of minutes. Feel free to ask. Feel free to turn on your microphone too if you want to. Mm, okay, no worries. Again, thank you so much, okay, for your time and the opportunity of having you, everybody here, okay? It's amazing to have this space to discuss this with you. I'm glad that so many people are interested in this topic and UX and UI and AI, okay? Feel free to add me on LinkedIn, Instagram, just search for my name there. You're gonna see my picture. It's inevitable to recognize me. I'm happy to see again many of my mentees, students, and happy to see new people here. We are gonna have another event in a couple of days, but this time we're gonna talk about communication. Okay, just take a look on the Design Lab calendar. I'm gonna be there talking about communication and the importance of communication for the UX, UI community too. Okay. Again, thank you so much. Sorry for the 2 or 3 seconds that we lost connection here and there. Hope to see you soon. Okay, bye bye.